already know what you're saying. Brother got the tiniest smidgen of clout on his last video and think he got the testicular fortitude to start dropping these Mike Korzemba hot takes. But I promise y'all, everything I say in these videos are things I fully believe with my entire chest. This video is no different. I fully disagree with the notion that the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers have any chance of winning the Lawrence O'Brien this year, and it has nothing to do with personnel. I mean, hell, look at either of these guys' rosters and you can make the case that both of them are championship caliber. No, the reason I don't trust these teams has nothing to do with personnel and is entirely due to scheme, because at the end of the day, there is only one ball. I already know Phoenix residents stopped actively melting on their sidewalks to type a hate comment. I already know Clippers fans stopped knitting their second best is still pretty good sweaters to yell at me. I already know all the negativity I'm about to receive, but hear me when I say this video was not made because I don't like y'all. This video was made because I love y'all. This video was made because I was in your guys' position so many years ago with a team I rooted for that I convinced myself were fringe contenders, but was ultimately disappointed because of flaws in the team's philosophy. I am, of course, talking about the 2017-18 OKC Thunder. Now, I am not saying that my Thunder in 2017-18 were anywhere near as talented as either of y'all's teams. The Clippers or Suns would both beat us in 5 or probably sweep us. I'm only bringing up my Thunder because they were unable to reach the second round of the playoffs for the same philosophical reason I don't think y'all will reach the finals: a lack of offensive diversity. What do I mean by this? Enter this hypothetical with me. If I were to build a team and I were limited to having 2 offensive stars and 8 role players, what position would I want my 2 stars to be? I personally would choose 1 perimeter player and 1 big man. Giannis and Dame, Reese and Joel, Bron and AD, Murray and Jokic, etc. Why would I choose both a big man and a perimeter player? Because in this day and age of pace and space being the most widely used style of play, the pick and roll is the most used and most dominant play in the league. Having my 2 best players be both a perimeter player and a big man allows me to use both of my best players in the most advantageous action in basketball today. Yeah, there are guard-guard, wing-wing, or even big man screens that can work somewhat, but those screen and rolls are inherently more flawed than perimeter big screen and rolls because they make it easier for the defenders to switch, and it completely negates the possibility of a mismatch. Having 2 or even 3 offensive star players that all reside on the perimeter or in the paint isn't the end of the world, but because it limits the potential of involving all of them in the pick and roll, it inherently increases the possibility of creating a my turn, your turn offense. For the more casual fans that somehow came across this video, a my turn, your turn offense is a form of offense that typically comes about when you have 2 or more star perimeter players that need the ball in their hands to operate at their fullest potential. This offensive philosophy is called my turn, your turn because it typically leads to one of the players being involved in the offensive action with the other players standing on the side waiting for the ball. And in the next possession, the roles will switch, so a new person is involved in the offensive action and the other offensive stars are standing off to the side waiting for the ball. This will continue throughout the game. Why do I believe this style of play is philosophically flawed? To properly explain my argument, let's go over 2 different possessions from 2 different teams. First, the Lakers. This is your typical AD and Bron pick and roll possession. Bron gets the ball on the wing, sizes up the defender, runs them through AD's strong pick, drives to the hoop due to his defender being a step behind, and when AD's defender finally gets sucked in, throwing up the short lob for AD to throw it down. In this possession, all of the Lakers' offensive potential is being utilized to its fullest extent. LeBron's ball handling and shot creation, the threat of his otherworldly driving, AD's all-time athleticism and finishing ability, LeBron's all-time playmaking and passing vision, even the players not involved in the action are being used to their fullest extent as role-playing floor spacers. In contrast, let's look at a possession from the Clippers. Okay, Leonard ISOs, and he ISOs, and he ISOs, and oh, he makes the shot. Okay, another one. Paul George ISOs, and he ISOs, and he ISOs, and loses it, and then he ISOs, and he ISOs, and then he makes the shot. Okay, let's go to another team, the Suns possession. KD ISOs, and then he hits the shot. In these possessions, sure, the shot creation and shot making ability of the player on ball is on full display and being used to its fullest extent, but look at what your other perimeter stars are doing. Harden, standing still, spacing the floor. George, standing still, spacing the floor. Leonard, standing still, spacing the floor. Beal, standing still, spacing the floor. In these specific possessions, your $200 million star players are being used as role players. Their dribbling, playmaking, and shot creation ability are not being utilized at all. Only their catch and shoot ability. This is why I think perimeter-centric my turn, your turn offenses rarely work. On each specific possession, your second and third, or in the Clippers case, 4th star player is not in increasing the potability of the offense with their shot creation. They are just floor spacers. They're no better than role players on those specific possessions. Sure, this allows the stars the ability to rest more so they can try more on defense, but I don't think that additional rest is a good enough reason to justify getting a third or fourth star player in lieu of like 3 or 4 good, trustworthy role players. In fact, I'll take it a step further. On this specific play in possession, I would rather have role players than James Harden and Kawhi Leonard on the floor. Just for example, I would rather have KCP and MPJ from the Nuggets on this specific possession than Harden and Kawhi because they are just better catch and shoot players. On this possession from the Suns, I think Grayson Allen is more valuable than Bradley Beal simply because he's better at catching and shooting. So while all these offenses I believe will be good, I don't think they'll be better than the Mavs, definitely not the Nuggets, the Celtics, or the Bucks, simply because their 1 or 2 extra stars does not really add much to their overall offense. Add in defenses that I think will be at best mediocre, and you get 2 teams that I just don't think will be able to make the finals. Now, there are 3 teams in recent NBA history I can see someone using as a rebuttal to this argument. The LeBron, Kyrie Cavs, and the Heatles, both my turn, your turn offenses with primarily perimeter playmakers, and the Warriors with 2 and sometimes 3 perimeter stars. The Heatles and the Warriors we can almost immediately throw out because they had elite defenses, and the Warriors can especially be thrown out because they are the only team I can think of in recent memory whose system allowed all of their offensive perimeter players to increase the offensive potency of the team on each possession instead of just kind of being there. Oh, and also they had 2 of the best off-ball perimeter players of all time. The Kyrie and Bron Cavs are probably the best argument you have for the Suns and Clippers being actual contenders, but even there we can see the exceptions starting to pile up. In the Cavs' legendary run, they had the 10th best defense in the regular season and turned it up in the playoffs so that in 2/3 of their games, they held the opposing team to under 100 points. They also only had 2 ball-dominant offensive stars in their primes. Both the Suns and the Clippers got 3 to 4 ball-dominant stars to feed. On top of that, almost all of the stars on both teams are hella injury-prone. Compare that to Kyrie, who kind of got lucky staying healthy that whole playoff run, and Bron, who was at the time the most durable star player we have ever seen. Lastly, if you think any 2 of the Suns or Clippers offensive stars can reach the level that 2016 Kyrie and Bron were at in those playoffs, then God bless you. But Booker and Kawhi are the only 2 I fully trust to reach anywhere close, and they are on opposite teams. In conclusion, even though the personnel, specifically the starting lineups on both of these teams, is insane, I do not think they have the scheme necessary to fully utilize all of that offensive talent. You combine that with defenses that I think will be mediocre and high level of injury proneness, I just don't think either of these teams have a chance of making the finals. If you're still here, thank you for watching this far. If you like this video, go ahead and like this video. If you want to see more videos from me and potentially my friends when I bring them in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We on the drive to, I don't even know, 100, I guess. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for the love I got on that last video, and there's more videos to come. Stay sweaty.